Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday Race League GP2 Championship. We are here today preparing for Baku. As you can see, we've got the old lineup down here, so you can see everyone who's getting involved in today's race. We've got some fantastic drivers from right across the series. As we start getting ready, I'll just give you a little run-up on how the championship is looking so far. We've got Jari absolutely flying so far out in the lead after his fantastic race weekend last weekend, where he won both races and got pole in qualifying, absolutely setting the times for everyone to beat. He's incredibly got 83 points at the start of this weekend. In second place, Scotty has only got 40 points. Then it gets really close after that. We've got Villas with 32, Bob Sada with 30, Wet Boy on Drugs with 26, NJ Devil 27, 125. Frank Efron, who I will call Frank Efron today and not Zac Efron, anyone who was listening to the opening weekend of the championship. We've got Pinnacle, who's in 8th place with 19 points. Then Vice Sheng YT is 15 points. Jardi is on 12 points. Carcraft is on 8 points. Tied with Isolate with Fire, who's also on 8 points. Then we've got Exhale, who's on 4. Kebab on 4. Mahi Mahi on 2. Vimangatis on 2, Vivico on 2, and no one else is yet to score. So it's really going to be a matter of how well can we do against Jari. Is he going to be able to set the standard? Is he going to be able to set the pace that everyone is going to be looking for today? Please do let us know in the comments on our Twitch stream where you're watching from. Let us know where in the world you are watching from. Let's have a really, really good race from everyone. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. The gaming lad Rigby is signed on. I'm gonna try and find. Let me try and find as we come over the start line. I'm gonna try and find Jari so we can watch his race because he's our top driver. I can't see him. Where is he? Now, Jari has told me he's not had a great amount of running for this weekend's race, so you can see him currently slipping down sort of 9th, 7th place. NJ Devil is really setting the pace. Let's jump up to see how he's doing as he just drops down there. He goes fastest again. Really keeping it tight. It's a real tricky, and we come into this really tricky section here. You've got to keep really tight over onto the left-hand side before swinging to the right. Beautifully handled through there. And then this, again, another really, really tight section. Fradby, who's the new driver for this weekend, is absolutely setting the pace as well, doing a really, really good job. Jari looks like he's going to lose out on his perfect run so far of top pole position qualifying performances. As we see an excellent tassel section there from NJ Devil, running it beautifully to the outside of the track. He's now going to push up, really try and get his fastest time. Let's try and get some lap data on there. We can see how he's doing, coming into that corner, still ahead of everyone else, and really, really setting the pace. His Sector 2 is absolutely fantastic. He's going to turn into this next corner. A beautiful drive there. He gets the drive out, and now it's all about this final sector. Can he keep it as straight as possible, keeping it as tight through that curve? Flat out as much as you can. You've really, really got to push this final sector of the racetrack. As he comes down, he's going to set the fastest time. It looks like it's going to be NJ Devil, then Villas, then Jari. An excellent result from Villas, who's done a fantastic job, the F3 driver there, coming in second place. Look at all those times in a 151. We've got Jari, then Villas. So we've got NJ Devil, then Villas, then Jari. They're our top 3, and an excellent qualifying time there from NJ Devil. He must be very, very pleased with that. So you can see here then, we've got a great result there for Art Grand Prix. So we've got NJ Devil and Villas in first and second. Jari, then Frank Efron, Scotty Fennell, Wet Boy and Drugs coming in at 6th. Jardi in 7th, Carcraft in 8th, Bob Sada 9th, Witcher in 10th, Yuri 11th, Vimangatis in 12th, Isolate with Fire in 13th, Vivico 14th, MBD Vision in 15th, Pinnacle 16th, Uveski in 17th, Frabai in 18th, must have really lost it at the end there, and Lewis Agel, whatever that is, Lewis is in 19th place. Okay, so we've got 2 people disqualified, so that's why Frabai dropped down that order so much. Must have just just gone out of track limits. Now, this is one of those tracks where track limits are a really, really tricky one because you almost forget about them as a problem. It's not like Circuit of the Americas or Australia where it's really easy just to slip off the track a slight bit. But here there's a couple of spaces just on the runoff of turn 1 and the runoff of sort of the penultimate corner out of the start of sector 3. Both of those spots are really, really easy to run wide and just get yourself off on the wrong side. Hi Johnny, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from, Johnny. Are you hoping for a good race? Who are your predictions? Let us know in the comments who your predictions are early on, as we're now just 20 seconds away from the start of our main race. So we're going to have 2 races here. We've got our main race of 50% length, and then our sprint race, which will also be of a 50% length. The sprint race, the order the drivers finish in will be reversed. Okay, so positions 1 to 8 will flip round. Whoever finishes in 8th starts first on the sprint race. So, who is going to be able to make the most of it today? That is the real challenge for drivers. Lovely to see we've got so many people getting involved and coming online. Let us know, as I said, let us know where you watch again. We've got Johnny predicting Yari will win. He will isolate to come a bit further up the table too. It will really, really help Yari because their teammates isolate with Flair. So clearly a big fan of their team. Johnny, I think Yari's in with a great shout, especially where he's managed to qualify. If he's only had sort of a little bit of qualifying and practice, then he's put himself in a really, really good position. We can see almost everyone. Let's have a look at the tyres that people will be starting on then. As we have a look, Yari is going to be starting on the mediums, as is Wet Boy and Drug. So Yari clearly did a really, really good lap there to set it on the mediums. Fantastic work from him. We've got Wet Boy and Drogs also starting on the medium, so he did a really, really good lap to get himself qualified into 6th. Those guys are going to put themselves in a great position later on in the race. They're going to struggle in the first few laps as these purple super soft tyres are going to be really, really quick. Further down the order, we've also got Pinnacle, MBD Vision and Vivico, who will be trying to make those long early stints work. They're going to try and run late into the Grand Prix. There's a good chance with this track there's going to be some safety cars over the course of the race. Because, we've got Johnny is watching in work. Brilliant. I absolutely love it. From Holyhead. What a great way to spend your day whilst working. I wish I could do that. I'm a teacher, so it doesn't really fly. But then again, I do get weekends off. So we're sorry to hear that you're working on a Saturday, Johnny. Absolutely not what anyone deserves to be doing. But you are in for a fantastic couple of races here. Over the next hour or so, we're going to have some brilliant, brilliant races. All the cars just coming around here and just getting ready. We've had a couple of people clearly knocked into each other on that qualifying lap, on that warm-up lap, so they're not going to get the opportunity to warm those tyres up as well as everyone else could be. And we're just going to sit here with last place so we don't miss any of the action. So as I say, track limits, not so much of an issue here. Oh, Johnny's got to work on Sunday as well. Poor old Johnny. He's going to be home for race time. That's what we like to hear. So Johnny's going to be tuning in to see how everyone's getting on, and obviously racing yourself as well, aren't you, Johnny? So really, really looking forward to that. Hope everyone's preparing for a good Baku Grand Prix this weekend. Should be fantastic racing tomorrow across all 4 tiers. And Max Young is sending out good luck to everyone. Good vibes to you too, Max. Thanks very much for your good luck for me in the race tomorrow. Here's hoping I managed to get through lap 1 without crashing into anyone. That's been my issue over the last few weeks. So we've got people from all over the Sunday Race League, different series. Thanks very much, Max. At least someone believes in me. It's good to know that someone does. So as I say, we've got drivers from all across the Sunday Race League series. If you're interested in watching our Sunday Race League series, please do tune in. Every Sunday from about 5 o'clock, we get some fantastic racing going on. Rigby asks everyone to keep it clean. Let's really hope that we can do that as we jump on board with NJ Devil, preparing to go into the first corner. Make sure I've got my telemetry on. And here we go, lights are out and away we go. We're off into the first corner. And it's an excellent start there from NJ Devil, who's going to get through the first corner first. Oh, we've got a couple of Jardy's going for the battle behind. Scotty Fennell is going for the move on Yari. He's going to have him up the inside there. Oh, and he's got him into the second corner. So Yari's soft tyres, medium tyres, not working well for him right off the start. As Scotty Fennell gets through, that's an excellent move from Scotty Fennell there. As we've got further up the further back, we've got Isolate with Fire getting through there. We've got all sorts of cars really gathering in the back there. NJ Devil, how's he doing? He's still got the lead out the front. That's fantastic driving from him. We've got Villas in second place, Scotty Fennell third. Yari now on the medium tyre. He's going to have to make those really work, and he's going to have Jardy behind him, who's going to be on the faster tyre as we run through this first start of the section. Vico already got a penalty. Not a great start from him, not what he's going to be after, and especially on those tyres as well. It's going to be really, really tough for him. So as we move here, Jardy having a look on the inside of Yari. He's not going to be able to get the move down into there. It's going to be a tricky one. As we have a look further down the field, who else is tight? As we go through this castle section, it's really, really difficult to overtake in here, so we're not going to see anything happening there. As we move on to this straighter section here, now we can't come into the position for the overtakes going through the last few sectors. Who is going to be close enough to have a go as we move forward? Looks like Villas and NJ Devil is starting to make a little bit of a break from Scotty Fennell, who really cuts that corner as tight as he can. It's really, really tight there again. It's another one of those places, and this is one of those corners where you've got to watch out for the track limits. If you run too far off the edge there, you're going to get a caution, and that's going to cause people problem for the races. Lewis Sagel has got past Vico further down the field as we follow along with Jardy, who's right behind Yari. Oh, and he hits the wall there. That's not going to be great for him on the speed on the run down here. But we got behind him Bob Sada, and Yuri is going past Bob Sada, and behind him Wet Boy on Drugs is also getting through. Oh, some brilliant racing here as we come down this big long straight. We have drivers right next to each other. How's this going to go as they go into the corner? Three abreast there as they go into that corner, and fantastic driving all the way through. Looks like Scotty Fennell's going to come out, and NJ Devil is just coming out there. He's dropped right down. What's happened to NJ Devil? Clearly some kind of mistake there has caused him to drop right down the field. He's gone wide into the turn one, it must have been, for him to end up out there. So we come up the field. Someone spun. We've got a couple of spinners. And it's this, as we said, this track is one of those tracks where it's really, really difficult to stay on track. So it's all working into Yari's favour with his medium tyres. Is he going to be able to head out the front? Yari is going to have to work really, really hard here to move away. Oh, what's going on here? All of our timings down the side are causing me some problems, and that's what I use to work out where on the track I'm supposed to be looking. So sorry about that, everyone else. Obviously, MJ Devil clearly didn't have that much of a problem. And we can follow him through here, right behind Villas. A great battle for the lead. Yari is starting to slip away from Scotty Fennell now. That's not to be expected on those tyres. We're starting to get little gaps right across the field. Carcraft right behind Witcher is our one battle that we've got going on track right now. How's he going to make a move? He looks down the inside. That's a brilliant bit of driving. He's going to have the inside line for this corner. Oh, he cuts right across that corner, right over the curb, and that unsettles the car. It makes it really difficult, but he's got the space, and Carcraft is going to come through there. Fantastic bit of driving from Carcraft to overtake there. What a brilliant little spot as the cars try to make sure they make the most out of that space. Here's the thing though, Witch is going to have the speed, he's going to have the slipstream behind him. Is he going to be able to keep that space? Oh, we see a little bit of his wing go flying off there as he clips the wall. That's not going to be ideal for the downforce as we come around this track. Carcraft right in behind Yuri. Is he going to be able to make the space? Witch is going to come into the pits. After that little bang on the wall, Witch is into the pits. So back up front, we've got Villas trying to pull out a good lead here. He's managed to pull out a second over NJ Devil, which is a fantastic result from Villas, the F3 driver, doing really, really well, and we're really pleased to see that. Johnny's questioning whether it's team orders. Maybe the top two are just allowing this to happen. They're going to try and pull away. Scotty Fennell, though, is closing in on the top two. So what are they going to do here? Oh, as he runs a little bit wide there, just clips the wall. Are they going to continue with this and work together to block out Scotty Fennell and stop him from being able to get past them? As further down the field, Fraby has gone past Carcraft. Carcraft looking to come back. And they're going to come into this corner with Fraby just ahead of Carcraft. Oh, it's so tight there. Oh, sorry, just behind MBD Vision. We got Frabai really looking for a space as we come through the castle section. Again, this really, really tricky, tight, turny section of the track. It looks like Yari... Scotty has dropped into the pits. Oh no, what's happened to Scotty? Scotty spun! A nightmare for Scotty Fennell, absolutely not what he wanted. He spun going into that corner, and that's going to allow loads of people to pass. Scotty drops right down out of the points, and it allows Yari up into third place. Action-packed race in there. Absolutely not what Scotty wanted. We got Wet Boy and Drugs closing in on Chardy, and Bob Sada is closing in on the two of them behind. We've got a little train opening up here just behind Chardy, as those super soft tyres probably starting to lose their power, lose their pace a little bit now. As Isolate with Fire goes past Uveski for 13th place. A good move from Isolate with Fire down into that corner, and again he's got to hold it now through the DRS section, which is one of the trickiest spaces to hold a lead on this, on any of the tracks on this race. Frabai up past MBD Vision here, as MBD looks for a space to get back past. Not going to be able to make it work, it doesn't look like. Well, who else have we got? We got Wet Boy on Drugs closing in on Chardy. How's he going to be able to make this work? We got Bob Sada right behind them. Real tight little space here, as we got... Is Wet Boy and Drugs going to be close enough? He doesn't have a look now. He's being patient, he's being careful, he's waiting for those tyres of Jardy just to start going off a little bit. He's going to put himself in a good position when they do, but he's going to want to get that pass done as soon as possible. And we've got a nice little train opening up here, so we can see all of the drivers close in. Oh, as Wet Boy and Drugs goes a little bit wide there, and it's going to give Bob Sada a chance to get up the inside. Is he going to be able to make it through as we follow on? Oh, he's going to get through on the inside there. Oh, a tight place, and they're going to go in side by side. This is not where you want to be side by side going into the castle section. Looks like Wet Boy and Drugs just has the space in front. Oh, a fantastic bit of driving, but he clips the wall, and he loses a bit of front wing, and that's going to allow Bob Sada through, and that is an absolute nightmare for Wet Boy and Drugs, because that is not what he wanted. It's going to totally destroy his race, trying to make those medium tyres work. Absolute nightmare for him, as Yuri is tight in behind. Oh, he clips him and he goes into the wall. Bit of contact there. That is not what we're after at all. So unlucky for Yuri. He's going to have to try and work hard to get back into a space to pass Frabai. Frabai's got a little bit of space now on Wet Boy and Drugs, and that's allowed Bob Sada to get away. Wet Boy and Drugs obviously working with that bit of wing damage now. Is he going to pop into the pits to get that sorted? I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. The super soft tyres are not going to last that long. He's probably going to have to do two pit stops or so in order to make that work, as Frabai is going to make his way past there down that straight. And this is what I was saying about the DRS power along that straight. It is so brutal. It's such a long straight, and it's going to allow the drivers to get past. As behind us, Yuri is just popping into the pits now. So he's coming out onto the medium tyres, as is Carcraft behind him. Let's have a quick look at our fastest lap so far. Frabai, who's set the fastest lap of 1:54, which is an excellent time to have done. Let's get back to our tyres, because that's important for us to know. So, Villas still out in the lead here. Who else have we got close? We've got Frabai having a look down the inside of Bob Sada here. Is he going to be able to pull this move off? It's a tricky place to get the move done. As they move into the castle section, Bob Sada's going to have the advantage through here, because he's got the track position and he's in the position to hold up the other drivers, so he's going to be able to stay and keep them away from him. But it looks like they're just dropping off Jardy with this battle is raging. Frabai having a look down the inside there, but it's not the place to have an overtake. As we saw the lap before, we can see how easily it can go wrong through this section. We see the three drivers. Oh, and someone spun. Who was that who spun? We've got Jardy is spun, and that is an absolute nightmare for Jardy, who was doing so well to spin in that spot there. That's not what you're after, but it leaves Bob Sada now with a gap ahead of him, Frabai right behind, and Wet Boy and Drugs just as close behind those. So these three have given us a real good battle out on track, as Yari is now closing in on NJ Devil. And it looks like those super soft tyres are starting to get away from the drivers who started on them. So who is going to be able to make this move stick? Frabai is having a look down the inside. As I said, this is a great place to get the overtake done, because that straight is so long and the DRS is so powerful. As we're coming down here, Yari has moved up into second place, as NJ Devil comes into the pits then, so Yari stays out on track. Frabai having a look. Frabai's going to slip into the pits as well, leaving Bob Sada to go out for an extra lap. So he moves up into 3rd place, waiting for all those other drivers to pit ahead of him. It looks like Jari will head out into the lead after this. We could expect Bob Sada and Villas to come into the pits pretty soon, as all of the drivers who started on the Super Softs are now hopping off them. Even Jardy's coming in, Scotty Fennell's coming in. So here we go. All of those drivers who started on the Super Softs are pretty much off them now, except Bob Sada and Villas. Wet Boy and Drugs coming past MBD Vision. Oh, they're having a real fight here. Scrappy bit of driving. And Wet Boy and Drugs having a look down the inside, and that's a tough place to turn. Oh, they're going slowly there, aren't they? Something happened. Oh, we've got a full course caution, which is going to 5-second penalty. Yveski's going to have a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Few penalties starting to come out now. Let's have a quick look at that. I think we're under safety car. Let's get rid of that. That date enabled. So if we have a quick look at the penalties, Vico with his 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. We've got Witcher getting a 5-second penalty. It'll be for speeding in the pit lane, and Yveski. Lewis Sargel is having a drive-through now, so that's really going to hurt his race. Absolutely not what he wanted. So we've got the safety car out, so we're going to have everyone close back up, and this should give us some really great driving for the latter half of the race. It's going to really serve into the favour of those people who are yet to pit. So Villas and Bob Sada, this is really going to help them out, because they're going to be able to pit now without the risk of losing time. As we watch them come in, they're going to come in and are going to be putting themselves into a great position to one stop right to the end of this race. So it's a real advantage for all those people who started off on the Super Softs then, by having those pit stops immediately neutralised. What are the top drivers going to do? Yari's going to come in as well. I think everyone's going to have to come in and pit here, make sure they're on the best tyres, because otherwise you're just going to lose so much time when the pits come back in. We're only going to have a few laps left, so you're just going to run out of so much time. So you're going to have to make these soft tyres last. Those people who are going to switch onto them now. So yeah, so in answer to your question, Johnny, still got to do the 2 tyre types in race 1. In the sprint race, though, they will not have to do that. So in the sprint race, which is slightly shorter race, they can run 1 set of tyres right to the end of it there. So that's quite all right. So this is worked out then. Pinnacle is going to come up into the lead. Villas and Jari, this is really, really worked out for them, because they're going to... They've neutralised those positions, and Yari's managed to get past MJ Devil in those pit stops. So that's worked out for Jari as well. He's now going to be on the super soft tyre. Whoever it was Johnny who was predicting Jari to be the winner, and I think with the way this is panned out, this is going to absolutely play into his favour here, isn't it? I think he's made a good shout there. So everything's going to calm down a little bit now as we wait for all of the cars to build up behind the safety car. As I'll run you through our order just as we are waiting for the restart. So we've got Pinnacle in first place, followed by Villas. Pinnacle on those 6-lap old tyres though. So I'm assuming he hasn't come into the pits, which means he's going to have to pit before the end of this race, which is not going to be ideal for him. He's going to drop right to the back of the pack when that happens. So he's going to really hope, we're going to have to hope he can make a break for it in the early part of this, because of course those tyres are going to be 6 laps old. Villas is surely going to have an advantage on him as we come into that section. Jari in third place, obviously our championship leader by quite some way, giving himself another great chance to earn some points today. NJ Devil in fourth place, which is going to set a really, really good result for him and his team, because Villas in second place. Surely that's going to move up to at least, he's probably going to stay in second, isn't he? Let's face it. Frabai then in fifth, setting a great, doing brilliant job for his first race here with us guys at the Sunday Race League on GP2. We've got Bob Sada in 6th place, Wet Boy and Drugs in 7th, and MBD Vision in 8th. Those guys, again, put themselves into a really good position because they're going to be on the super softs for this restart. They're going to be in a position to get going and absolutely smash it out of the restart. MBD Vision also on the super softs. Yuri in 9th. We've got Scotty Fennell in 10th. Jardy is in 11th. We've got Vivico in 12th, also onto the super soft tyres. So hopefully he's going to be able to make some moves moving up the track. Isolate with Flair in 13th place. Frank Efron is in 14th. Witcher, with that penalty, that 5-second penalty, is in 15th place. Siveski, with 3 seconds worth of penalties, is in 16th. Carcraft in 17th, and Lewis Sargel is in 18th place. And again, with 5 seconds worth of penalties. So those guys are going to have to go some in order to try and get themselves up into the top 10 to earn themselves some points for this race weekend. So we're just waiting for all of the pack to close up. It does try to close the pack up before it sets everyone off again. So I reckon by the end of this lap we should be waiting for those cars just to the safety car should be coming in, because those drivers should have caught up. Who are we waiting for? Right at the back there, Lewis Hegel. Oh, he's coming into the pits. Clearly had a bit of a issue with his front wing. You would have thought he'd come into the pits earlier on. So clearly something wrong there with the front wing, as he switches onto another set of the medium tyres. Oh, he's slow in getting away. I'm not sure what's going on there. Oh, he's out of the race, so he's retiring from the race. Clearly not been a great race for Lewis. Well done on him for coming into the pits to retire. We do see some issues with people retiring out on track, which causes, again, safety cars and things, which ideally not what we want. I mean, it's great that we're going to have everyone close together for the end of this race, and a real sprint to the finish, so it should be very exciting. Who knows what Pinnacle is going to be able to do, though, here. Surely he's absolutely put himself at a disadvantage by not coming in that safety car period. So here we go. We're going to have one more lap behind the safety car, clearly, because not everyone's quite caught up yet, so we haven't quite got everyone closed up together. So we'll have one more lap behind the safety car, and then it'll be a 5-lap sprint to the finish. It'll be very, very exciting for us all here. As we watch the drivers on the medium tyres really working those tyres to try and keep them as warm as possible. This is one of the challenges with the safety car. It's about making sure those tyres are as warm as possible as we still prepare ourselves for the restart. Because of course with the cold tyres you don't get the braking, you don't get the turning, the whole thing becomes a lot tricky. You have to be much more gentle, so having nice hot tyres ready to make them as grippy as possible into that opening first few corners is really, really going to be vital. And that's where Yari, the people on the super softs, are going to be at an advantage, because those tyres can stay hotter, quicker, and stay there for longer as well. So it looks like almost everyone has caught up. We're just waiting with Isolate with Flair, who just came into the pits, clearly just to catch up to the back of the pack. So I think he'll have done that by the end of this lap, and we'll be able to get go racing again. So let us know in the comments who your shouts are for who's going to win this it's essentially now a 5-lap sprint to the finish, isn't it? Now that's what we're going to be watching here. Who do you think is going to have the best position? Surely we've got to be looking at Yari in a great shot here for another win, yet another win, to go with the Dutchman's fantastic record. We've got Rigby, who's cheering on Villas. He's had a good race so far, but Yari will be hard to keep behind him. I couldn't agree with you more. I think Villas has done an absolutely stonking job to maintain his position at the front. He managed to get there, managed to stay there. It's all going to be a matter of how quickly he can get past Pinnacle, I think. With those old tyres, Pinnacle's surely going to be at such a disadvantage It'll all be a matter of how quickly Villas can get past, and if that's going to hold up Yari, that might play into his hands. If he can get the move done early, looks like the safety car is coming in, and we are preparing. Pinnacle is going to set the pace as we head off into the opening of the first lap. We come across the start line. Yari has already got past Villas, already into that opening section. He's going to go past him on the inside. He's going to have a look. Yari gets past, and Yari up into what is surely the lead of this race, even though he's behind Pinnacle. Pinnacle's still waiting to pit. So Yari staying on the inside here. Is he going to have the inside line? He is, and that's a good move. It's going to force Villas wide, and NJ Devil might have a little bit of a run here as we come down onto the first straight. We've had a couple of penalties go out. Bob Sada and Wet Boy on Drugs have received penalties, which is not ideal for them because they're going to drop right down once all of this has happened. Scotty Fennell is past MBD Vision. MBD is now past Scotty Fennell. Oh, they're having a real battle back here as they have a look. Who's going to have the space? Is MBD is going to have the line going into the next corner. Oh, as he has a little lock up, he moves away. Oh, and that's Scotty Fennell's knocked into the back of him, damaged his front wing, and that's an absolute nightmare for Scotty Fennell. Not what he was after. As up the front, Yari really pushing up behind Pinnacle, and they've managed to break a little bit away from Villas. As Yari has a look down the inside, he's going to make a move, and that is the position for first place. Yari up into first place. A fantastic drive from him into the castle section. What a daring place to overtake as we watch him come through there. We've got Pinnacle behind him, and Villas is going to quickly close up there. Surely this is going to be an easy move with the older tyres on Pinnacle's car. Not making the decision to pit has surely hurt his race there. Villas really having a look. He's going to have a look down the inside here. Oh, he clips the wall, and that's going to hurt him as he has a look down the inside. He's going to make the move. Oh, and he pushes Pinnacle into the wall, and he manages to get past. So well done to Villas. Devil is through, Fraby, and it's caused Pinnacle to drop right down. An absolute nightmare for Pinnacle. As through goes Bob Sada as well. Wet Boy on Drugs is surely going to have the run on him as he goes through, two into that section, too wide. That's not where you want to be. Pinnacle gives up the place. That decision not to pit really, really hurting him as Yari makes a shot up the front. MBD is coming past here, and they're going three wide into this section. Yuri coming through, as surely his teammate's going to swing into the pits. Oh my goodness, this all go further down the track as they're going three wide into the first corner. Fantastic driving as Bob Sada comes away first, as he's now having a look behind Wet Boy on Drugs, who is just caught up behind. Fraby's got past NJ Devil, so a good move there from Fraby. NJ Devil's going to have a look up the inside. Of course, no DRS yet until we're back from the DRS. Isolate with Fires moved up past Pinnacle at the back there. And we have them going three abreast into this next section. Wet Boy on Drugs is going to come out with first, with Bob Sada just behind him from that bit there, and NJ Devil now down into 6th place, so it's a bit of a nightmare restart for NJ Devil. Not what he wanted at all. Wet Boy on Drugs really making those super soft tyres work and getting himself up into 4th place, but of course he's got his penalties to deal with. It's 5 seconds worth of penalties, so that will be a speeding in the pit lane that he's got that for. Yari's really making a move up front. Fraby is dropping off, and we've got Wet Boy on Drugs then behind Fraby. He's going to be the person having a look at the next move. Maybe there was he clipped someone. Maybe him and Bob Sada clipped during the safety car period, which will get your 5-second penalty as well. So we'll see what happened with that. That will be open to a... Oh, as we have a spinner coming off Yuri as he tried to get past Frank Efron and absolutely got clipped there, ended up in the wall. Not what he was after. What else have we got going on? Vico, Carcraft and Yuri having a battle down here. Carcraft passed Yuri easily because Yuri spun. What else have we got going on? Bob Sada looking to close in the gap on Wet Boy on Drugs, but it's going to be difficult on those medium tyres. Jardy gets past Frank Efron further down the field. As we can look at this, we go 3 abreast again. Coming down this straight here as 2 drivers pull into the pits. Frank Efron and Jardy going in side by side. Who's going to have the position? Frank Efron's going to have the inside line, and he's going to make it through. A good bit of driving there, and he gets the overtake done. So well done to Frank Efron. Scotty Fennell is fighting with MBD Vision. Who's going to get past? As they come side by side down this long straight. Oh no, Scotty Fennell just has the position on MBD, but surely MBD has the softer tyres. He's going to have the space. Looks like Scotty had the DRS coming down there. So really trying to make that position work. Jardy having a look on the inside of Frank Efron. Frank Efron, clearly a fan of his orange cars. He drives for McLaren in the regular races. Who else have we got? Where else have we got battles? Jardy having a look at Frank Efron. We've got MBD Vision having a look at Scotty Fennell. And we've got Frabai chasing down Villas now for second place. We all want to see Villas do well, but we're looking to see a great debut race here from Frabai, who's done an absolutely fantastic job. As we have him closing in, where else have we got little gaps? MBD Vision having a look. He's close enough there. We're going to follow on with Frabai because this is a battle for second place. So can he get that move done? Heading down into this long straight section. As we spoke before, the DRS so powerful down here. You've got to really keep that line tight through these two corners, and then as much power as flat out as you possibly can. We've got Wet Boy and Drugs closing in on behind them. So who's going to be able to make that move stick? Doesn't look like Frabai is quite close enough to be able to get in on Villas this lap. So we'll move back and see how MBD is doing against Scotty. As he opens up the DRS, he closes in. We see him getting closer and closer and closer, but Scotty's defending the inside line. He's going to run to the outside now. MBD's not going to be close enough this lap. He's going to have to work on it. Can he get it done into the next lap? How's Frabai doing up this straight? Is he going to get close enough? He's got the DRS. He's going to have a look. Is he going to have a look down the inside? He does. He pulls out. He has a look down the inside. Who's going to be later on the brakes? He goes in. He's got the inside line. Frabai's going to have the straighter line going into the next corner, but Frabai is through. Well done for him into second place. Villas down into third now. Wet Boy on Drugs in fourth place behind them, but obviously still waiting to serve that penalty, as is Bob Sada. And we've got MBD behind those guys. So well done to Frabai, up into second place. And that's going to leave Villas surely open to an attack from Wet Boy on Drugs here, who's going to have the super soft tyres. I couldn't agree more either, Johnny. It's great strategy, cool from Yari to have gone onto those medium tyres for qualifying. Incredible that he managed to pit qualifying third place on those medium tyres. So really, really fantastic job from him all weekend. As we have Wet Boy and Drugs closing in now on Villas and Frabai. So these guys all causing a little bit of a line. Isolate with Fire gets himself a penalty. What penalty is that? That's a 3-second penalty, so that's not going to affect him, hopefully, as long as he can keep that 3-second gap to Vivico further down the track. Who's going to make the move on this one? We've got Villas racing with his We Racers 1 helmet. Lovely to see that support for that movement out in the drivers on the track as they head down this long straight. I don't think anyone's going to be close enough to each other. It looks like Frabai's just got the pace on Villas to keep away from him. As long as Villas can keep in the DRS, that's going to help him against Wet Boy and Drugs, because the soft tyres, super soft tyres, don't give you really an advantage along the straights in terms of outright speed. It's through the corners where you have the advantage, and it's obviously difficult to overtake here. That last straight, as we have Chardy getting past Isolate with Fire getting past Chardy, sorry, as he moves past, using that DRS space to get ahead there. So a good bit of driving from him. He's going to want to try and, he's going to need to build a gap now as well, and he's got 3 seconds ahead of him to build that gap. So can he close up to Frank Efron in the last couple of laps? Scotty right in behind MBD, and he's going to maybe stay there. Maybe he'll be patient because he knows MBD's got that penalty coming. But obviously that's still open to a judge's decision. We'll have a steward's inquiry into the race afterwards, as this little gap, this battle for second place is closing up again. Can Villas find his way back? He's closed in the gap here. It was nearly a second at the start of the lap, and now it's just about 6 tenths. And it looks like Frabai just has the pace coming out of that castle section just to pull away from Villas a little bit. And we've got Wet Boy and Drugs still tracking those guys behind them, waiting for a mistake. I think that's what he's going to have to rely on to get through with only 2 laps left to go. And it's really, really tight as gaps start to open up again. Chardy staying in contention with Isolate with Fire, which is going to be a problem for Isolate with Fire. So they both clip the wall coming through that. You can see how fast and how quickly the drivers are pushing it. We've got Villas now onto that main straight. Can he open up the DRS? Can he get the space? Can he close it up and get second place back from Frabai? Doesn't look like he's going to have the pace coming down here, as Pinnacle gets a 3-second warning for 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Again, not going to affect him because he's got a gap to Yuri. As Vivico goes past Jardy further down the field, we're going to stay with this battle out on track because it's so tight, it's so close, but it doesn't look like Villas is going to have an answer to Fradby, but it's still a respectable third place. Jardy and Vivico still battling with each other. Jardy has a look to the inside. He's going to get past Vivico here. They can continue battling. They're side by side going into the next corner. He's making the medium tyres work. Fantastic driving there from Jardy, but it looks like Vivico's still going to have the line there as they come up the line. Up this straight, side by side. Jardy's just going to get in front, and Vivico's not going to have a response to it. Oh, someone's going slowly ahead. As all the drivers come through, is Vivico going to have the inside line? No, he's not, and that's going to leave him open to Carcraft behind. Carcraft's having a little look. He can't get through there. So who else we got battling out on track? We got Scotty Fennell really close in behind MBD, but he's not going to be able to make the gap again. Making those medium tyres against the super soft tyres work is going to be tough. Villas he's just slipped out of the DRS zone, so he's not going to have the DRS down to the line. That is a nightmare for him. As we follow Yari, we're going to follow Yari now through the last few corners as he comes over to take yet another victory in this tournament. Isolate Fire spun, and he's dropped down to 12th place, and that is not going to be good for him. Absolutely not what he's after. Especially with that penalty, that's going to lose him all of his points. So Yari is going to take the victory. An absolutely fantastic drive from him. He's going to celebrate over the line as he swings side to side, and he takes the victory. Congratulations, Yari. Our victor, Fradby, comes over in 2nd place. A brilliant result from Villas, come 3rd. Wet Boy on Drugs gets 4th place. Bob Sada in 5th. Then we've got MBD Vision, closely followed by Scotty Fennell for 6th and 7th. MBD Vision's penalty puts him behind Scotty Fennell there. Frank Efron, and it puts him behind Frank Efron, so that's a nightmare for him. Vivico is going to come over the line. They're tied. Carcraft is going to beat him, and Carcraft gets it over the line from Vivico, then Jardy. Isolate with Fire is going to come over the line next with no front wing. Fantastic for him to keep it on the track through the last bit of the race. NJ Devil, who did so well. He was leading this race at the start of it. Qualified in 1st place and has dropped right down. An absolute nightmare for him. He clearly had some wing damage in the last couple of corners because he's pitted at some point. We then got Pinnacle. His decision not to pit there has surely cost him a great result in this race. Yuri is coming over in 15th place. Then our disqualified drivers, our DNFs, Yaveski, Vitya, Lewis Agul, and Vaimangates. So another brilliant result there from Yari. So now we're going to have the sprint race. It's a shorter race. We don't need the 2 stops. Vitcher's upset with himself, but you shouldn't be, man. Did a really, really good job. Everyone's very, very impressed at how well. I think everyone did a really good job. We had one safety car, a couple of spins, and that's about it. And this is a really, really tough street track. So fantastic job from everyone. But Yari setting the pace again. So he's going to have to start from 8th place. On our sprint race, we're going to have a reversed order, top 8 drivers, flip order. So 8th place starts in 1st, and 1st place starts in 8th, and everyone in between there. And here we have the race result. Yari leading us out. Fradby 2nd, Villas 3rd, Wet Boy on Drugs 4th, Bob Sada 5th, Scotty Fennell 6th, Frank Efron 7th, and MBD in 8th, so they'll finish in reverse order. Then we've got Carcraft, Vivico, Jardy, Isolate with Flair, NJ Devil, Pinnacle, Yuri, Yaveski, Vitya, Lewis, and Vaimangates making up the rest of the result. Who will be able to win out in the sprint race? And now, for this one, they don't have to pit at any point, free to stay on the same set of tyres for the whole race. And obviously, they have a free choice at the start of the race because there's no qualifying, so they don't have to start. The top 10 won't have to start on those tyres they qualified in. So we'll just be waiting. Last chance for any drivers to make any changes to their cars. They may have made some discoveries about oversteer, understeer, maybe slightly unbalanced cars. This is their chance to make any last changes in a bid to win out and try and do as best they can. So let us know, who are your votes for the sprint race? Who do you think is going to do well here in the sprint race? Let us know in the comments on our Twitch stream. You can obviously make sure you're following Sunday Race League right across everything we're doing. If you follow any of the channels, head on to Sunday Race League on Twitch. Follow all the channels and make sure you're up to date with all of the racing. We've got 4 races happening across the day, afternoon tomorrow. F4, F3, F2 and F1, where you'll see all of these drivers representing. As here we are preparing to get going. We're going to start off with our... Oh, thank you very much, Rigby. It's nice for someone to recognise the brilliance of my commentary there. We're going to head out onto the warm-up lap. Again, drivers deciding to try and... going to have to keep those tyres as warm as possible. Let's have a look at the tyre choices everyone's going for. Everyone's going for the medium tyre, apart from Isolate with Fire down in 12th. Yveski and Vitcha both going for this, all going for the super softs. Now that's an interesting choice, I think, because you don't have to pit for this one. You don't have to change tyres. So, Villas and Fradby are going to lose out on that chance to warm those tyres up, as they're disqualified from, clearly clipped each other. They're disqualified from the formation lap, so they'll be put right back onto the grid and wait for everyone to come round. So we've got Johnny, he reckons Yari's going to win. Fradby and Villas or Vision could be a close one. I think I'd agree with that. I think Fradby's going to be able to hold it to Yari, especially with him starting a little bit ahead of him. Hopefully that disqualification from the formation lap is not going to hurt him too badly. It might really work into Yari's hands, getting up past 2 places early on. I'm gonna say I'd really like to see Scotty or Wetboy do well here, because I've seen those guys race a few times now, commentated on them a few times. I've raced with Scotty Fennell. These guys are fantastically fast, so I think they're going to have a really good shout for the opening laps here. They're going to be a shout for me. So let's see who's gonna be right. Rigby is going to go with Bob Sada, but Yari will be up there. So Rigby's going to be voting for Bob Sada. So the Red Bull, or what would be the Red Bull team. I can't remember the names of all the F2 cars. I'm sorry, I don't drive this one as much. In fact, I never drive this one. When Yari asked me if I wanted to do it, I was like, hell no. I had one little go and thought, you know what? It's too confusing learning 2 different cars. So I've just stuck with the F1 cars. So you'll see me racing tomorrow in the F4. Where, as I said earlier, I'll be hoping to make it through the first lap without destroying my front wing, which I've done on every race so far. And a big apology to Rigby for last weekend when I clipped him and sent him into the wall on the opening lap. Really didn't mean to do that, but this is racing, and that is why we love it, because absolutely anything can happen. So we've got MBD heading down here, Weimangartis bringing up the rear, as we head on to the start-finish straight for the reformation and the start. Vitcha has been disqualified from the formation lap as well, so hopefully he got his tyres as warmed up as he could have done. Isolate with Fire has now been disqualified too. So here we are, the track reforming. We've got 11 laps now of our sprint race. Drivers don't have to pit at any point. We will be seeing who can win out in the sprint race. So here we are. All the drivers are formed up. We're on 3, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're off. It's an excellent start from MBD. Is he going to stay out in front there? As he just pulls it in front, it looks like he's going to keep it away from Lewis. Oh, sorry, from Frank Efron. Behind him, we've got both the Red Bull alternatives having a look. And we've got behind them, Fradby is having a move up here. Can he get past? Yari's not had a good start. He's dropped down to 10th place. It was not a good start from Yari. Villas is going to get past Fradby here, paying him back for getting him in that last race. He has a look, a good move up the inside there. And it looks like Fradby has just spun and he's lost out a few places. That's not good for him. Vivico's going to move up past him. Further up the track, got MBD Vision out in front, followed closely by Frank Efron, then Scotty Fennell, then Bob Sada. Really tight bit of driving from those guys. Villas in 5th place, with Yari behind him now. Yari managed to make it up for that unideal start. It must have been the... sorry, this is really throwing me off with those things happening. As we have Scotty and Frank Efron having a real fight with each other. Scotty is through. Oh, it looks like Frank Efron's ghosting, so that's not ideal for him. We have a yellow car and a safety car out. So a yellow flag and a safety car out again. So who has spun? What has happened there? It looks like Yevesky is right down the field, so probably him. But who knows? It might be those super soft tyres drivers are expecting to... got a couple of people out. We've got DNF from Wet Boy on Drugs. So maybe what has caused this... maybe what has caused this safety car, and Vitya has disqualified already. As we head back under the safety car and we'll restart. So I'm afraid we only managed to get half a lap in before we're ready for a restart. And we'll have all the drivers close in again. And again, try to work on ensuring those tyres are as warm as possible in their operating window. As we have Frank Efron drop into the pits, and he's going to need a new front wing change. It was a sloppy pit entry, so that's not going to be ideal for him. And we've got a whole host of cars coming into the pits under the safety car. We've got Frank Efron, we've got Carcraft coming in, we've got Lewis coming in. So we'll see all those drivers down the back then. They'll close up, they'll get the chance to have a free pit stop, they'll get the chance to fix any front wing damage without it being too much of a problem for them. But that will lead to an interesting race for these guys later on. So they all switched to the super soft tyres. Lewis is going on to the mediums so he can last them to the end of the race. I don't know how long these super soft tyres are going to last, you know. So it's going to be a tricky one. We'll follow back up the front with MBD, who is leading us away through this section. So all of the cars, we're just waiting for those cars who pitted to close back in, and then we'll be able to get it going. I couldn't agree more, Rigby. It looks like this could be a very exciting battle. 2 DNFs already, safety car out already. It could turn into a real battle for the win. Yari's managed to get himself from 8th up to 5th, so a really good start from him. Villa's managing to get himself forward, which is excellent, what he was after. It's not been a great start, though, for Fradby, who has dropped right to the back of the grid, and absolutely not what he wanted after a great position and a great result in the first race. It's going to hurt him. So one of my tips for a win, Wet Boy on Drugs, is already out, so you can see what the commentator's curse does, even in a fun, relaxed environment like this, which isn't serious, top-level sport. But even now, I can make people crash. So who will I destroy the race of next? Who shall I next vote for? Surely that means Scotty Fennell's going to crash out in the next couple of corners, if I've already said that he's going to win. We will have clearly one more lap behind the safety cars. We're just waiting for everyone to close in. Someone's come into the pits there. Isolate with Flair has come into the pits. What's he going to switch to on the pits? He's come in on the super soft. And he's not the only one. So Yevesky's coming in as well with a new front nose change, as is Carcraft. He's going to have to wait for Yevesky. This happened to me in the first race of the season in Australia, and it is an absolute nightmare when you're sitting there waiting. It feels like forever waiting for your driver ahead to have their front wing changed, and then wait for the team to reset, prepare for the next driver. They are not skilled at doing double stops here in on F1 2020. Maybe that's something they should think about for future games, making sure that the mechanics can deal with double stops. So we can see then, drivers at the back, those who have pitted, now closing in, as we'll just wait for Iveski and Carcraft to close in there. That might mean that we have another lap under the safety car, because the game does like to have everyone together before it sets things off. Well, what's happened back here? We've got... What's happened to NJ Devil? Oh, he's crashed! NJ Devil has crashed under the safety car and he's going slowly. He's got a problem. What's happening there? Absolute nightmare for NJ. After his weekend went so well, he's rejoined back, so clearly he disconnected for a second and now he's dropped right to the back. That is a nightmare. Technical issues for NJ, not what he was after. So after that brilliant qualifying from him, the races have kind of turned into a bit of a nightmare for the poor guy. That doesn't mean anything about the quality of his driving. He's still a very, very good driver, obviously. We've had a couple of penalties come out under safety car period, so let's have a look at what's going on there. So yeah, a couple of penalties, Fradby and Vivico, both getting 5-second penalties, so something happening under safety car. And I'm not sure what that could have been. I can't imagine they touched. Surely can't be a... because they're nowhere near each other, so how can they have touched each other on the track? So Johnny says with EA taking over, it'll cost $9.99 a month for a decent pit crew. You think that'll be that cheap? Rigby replies. Who knows? I mean, I hear a lot of people worried about what's going to happen when EA take over this game. You know what, guys? I'm staying positive. I'm staying positive about what could happen with EA taking over, because actually, I mean, these games have been brilliant and I've absolutely loved running them. 2007, I think, was the first one that I got, and I've been absolutely loving racing these games since. But you cannot deny that EA do some good things. One thing I'm hoping for is an improved AI with the world of EA taking over here, because you've got to admit the AI in races are a little bit boring, not much happens, they don't overtake each other, so maybe that'll improve. Although again, with EA taking over, there'll probably be some scripting and you'll lock up for no apparent reason going into the final corner and lose paces. They like to do that in the last few minutes of FIFA games, certainly. Johnny says EA had it originally, just money grabbing bastards now. Now I think we can all agree with that one. Here's what they'll do though, is they'll just over release it. They won't do enough work. They'll over release it every year, and instead of sort of, the Codemasters brought something new to the game every year, I think, and each year there was always improvements, there was different feel to the cars. Are EA going to be as dedicated to doing that and bringing that real good quality? That's a question that we're all going to have to wait to answer. But seriously hoping that these games continue to churn out excellent quality games. Safety car is coming in this lap, so there's our message from race control. We've now got everyone nice and close together. Safety car is going to come in this lap. MBD Vision will lead us away. This is from Scotty Fennell, then Bob Sala, then Villas, then Yari, then Vivico, Jardi, Yuri, Weimangartis, Pinnacle, making up the top 10. And it's been a brilliant start from Weimangartis, making up 10 places, so right from the back of the grid. He's got himself up to the points as we slow right down. Everyone causing a real traffic jam here. It's like the M25, and MBD is going to release us as we get going onto the start-finish straight. Who is going to have the position? Scotty Fennell has managed to... MBD has just managed to pull away from Scotty and Bob Sada, so he's made a really, really good start, and it looks like Yari's going to be the person who has the chance as he comes down into the first corner. He's going to have the inside line. He's tight, he's right next to Vivico, and he's going to have the inside line coming into the next corner. Well done, Yari. He's past Vivico there, so that's a brilliant bit of driving, and that was really, really important for him as Jardi has a look up the inside of Vivico as well. Is he going to have that space? Looks like it's not a great restart from Vivico, and Lewis is also going to have a look down the inside. Jardi gets the position before the corner even, so that's a nice overtake there from Jardi, clearly using up his ERS and everything to make sure he's on that run there. MBD still leading out in front as we head into the castle section. Let's get back to those tyres so we can see what everyone is on. As he leads us through the castle section, this really, really tricky right-hand turn, so difficult, easy to lock up going into there, and then this left-hand turn, so easy to clip the wall. They're so tight to each other, and it's so easy just to miss out on the opportunity to accelerate out of that corner, so easy to lose the back end. Looks like Bob Sutter is right behind Scotty Fennell. Is he going to be able to make the move as they head along this straight, moving into a space where they will be able to get some overtakes done, but of course no Jardy has passed Vivico further down the field, and he's made a move. He's going to have the inside line coming forward, and it looks like Lewis is also going to have a go past Vivico, and he gets past as well. So well done to Lewis. And now we're going to have Frappai, who's made all his way all the way up, and he's going to get past Jardy as well, going through this section. Really, really tight, and oh my goodness, they're so close to each other. And he's going to have the run going into that section. They touch slightly. Who's going to have it? Frappai gets past Lewis, so really, really well done there from Frappai. Fantastic bit of driving. As Yari gets past Villas as well, and that's a good bit of driving from Yari. So already up to 4th place. Oh, and Villas gets past him as he has a little mistake on the outside there. So almost perfect driving from Yari. Further down we've got Lewis and Pinnacle all going past Jardy, so it's not been a great restart from him, and he's dropped right out of the points there. Pinnacle getting up to 10th place, so making up for that start earlier, as we have a battle going here behind Frappai and Vivico. Frappai's going to get through, an excellent bit of driving there up that straight, as we head up to see the leaders. Scotty Fennell having a look at the back of MBD. He's really closed up that gap now. He's going to have a look down the inside here. We've seen a couple of attempts at overtakes here, and he's going to get the inside line. He's going to get it done, moving into the castle section. That's a fantastic bit of driving from Scotty Fennell. Really, really brilliant. And we got behind him, Villas has got past Bob Sada, so Villas done a really, really good job as he runs wide, and he's going to lose that couple of places. Yari's going to get past him. Fantastic, unlucky there from Villas. To overtake there is so difficult. It's so easy to lose it. So he's done really, really well, and Yari's really made the most of that. He's got past he's got past Villas, and he's going to have the look up at Bob Sada onto the next straight. We're a couple of laps out from the safety car now, so there should be DRS enabled this time. As further up, we've got MBD, and Bob Sada's got past MBD. Oh no, MBD still, he's right behind Scotty Fennell, sorry. So MBD and Scotty Fennell, they're going to come into this next straight. Who's going to have the position? We've got Yari battling with Bob Sada behind. As they go side by side, Scotty's going to have the inside line, and he's going to have the DRS, so surely this is going to be advantage Scotty. Coming into that corner, he's not going to quite have the position. Clearly they don't have DRS yet, so it will be next lap. As Frappai sets a new fastest lap for the race on his super soft tyres. Scotty Fennell's going to have a look down the inside. That's such a tight one that closes in very, very quickly, and MBD just manages to stay ahead. This is an excellent battle for the lead we've got going on here. Some fantastic driving. We've got 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, all within, and 7th place, all within DRS range of each other. So excellent driving from the front guys. Can MBD hold out here right at the front? As he has a little bit of oversteer coming out of that corner. Scotty's going to have the run, but again, coming into a section where there's just no opportunity to overtake, and that is really, really tricky. As we've got Frappai on the super softs. He's the only person on the super softs there, so hopefully he's going to make them work. As we saw, he can go super, super fast because of those tyres. As we follow this train of cars through the castle section, such delicacy needed to make sure that the car is in the right place, got the right amount of pace. Bob Sada looks like he's gone through that a little bit faster than Scotty. MBD managed to pull away a little bit there, but not quite out of DRS range yet, so Scotty's going to have it as they come into the next section. And with such long two such long DRS straights here, it really is difficult to get away from drivers. You know, one thing, it's difficult to open up that gap, so you need that skill and that ability through the castle section to open up that gap. But the more downforce you put on, the less effective you are down this straight, and this is where it's all going to come down to. Who is going to have the speed down this straight as we come in? Looks like everyone apart from the BD will have DRS in our top 7 drivers. Lewis has just drifted away from those guys a little bit. We have a couple of people coming to the pits. MBD leads out. Scotty Fennell, second place. Bob Sarda in third. Yari close in behind. Villas in fifth place. And they're going to form our top 5 for the moment. So we had Yuri come into the pits. Had a few people pit there. Interesting choices. Oh, it's clearly some kind of wing damage for those drivers or something along those lines, I would imagine. That leads, there's a few little gaps then opening up further up the track. Oh, we've got the safety car out, and that will explain why people have dropped into the pits. The safety car's come out again. So who has crashed out there? I think Weimangartis with a DNF. Clearly something's happened. So we've got the safety car out again. So after one safety car in the opening race, we've now got 2 safety cars in our sprint race. Clearly drivers really going for it, and that's going to give us an exciting sprint to the end. Our question will be though, will everyone be able to close up in that time? So while we do this, we'll just have a little look at how drivers are getting on. So we've got MBD. Scotty has got a 3-second penalty in second place, and that's going to be a nightmare for him. How's he going to be? He's going to need to put out a 3-second gap. There's not going to be enough space. That's going to really cost him. And the same for Villas as well. Bob Sarda and Yari in 3rd and 4th. We've got Jardy in 6th, Pinnacle 7th, Frank Efron 8th, Carcraft 9th, and Vivico 10th. Vivico with that 5-second penalty. So we're just waiting for the gaps to close in as everyone is held up. We're waiting for MBD to get picked up by the safety car, which he will do on the next lap. Safety car's just waiting for him at the end of sector 1. Oh, as Jardy gets a DNF, as does Lewis. So what's happened for those guys? They disconnected. Has something gone wrong? Clearly some kind of technical issues has led them to drop out of the race, which is going to be an advantage for the likes of Vivico, Fradby behind them, who get to move up into the top 10. So now, with everyone on the, let's have a look, everyone on the medium tyres, Fradby on the super softs further down. Vivico's going to pop into the pits, make the most of that opportunity to pit without it costing you too much time. He's going to pit onto the super soft tyres. Now that's going to give them an advantage in outright pace, but the question is there going to be enough time for them to make the most of that? Because we've only got 3 laps left now, and it looks like quite a few of those will be served under the safety car. Now, they don't like to finish the race under the safety car, so they will release all the drivers probably to do a lap or 2 at the end. So we'll see what happens here as we have top drivers, all our top 5, all within a second of each other. They're going to be really close as we restart the race. Then Pinnacle a little way behind, Frank Efron, Carcraft. These guys should all close in before the race starts. Fradby might not have the chance to do so. And J Devil gets a 3-second penalty for that will be track limits for multiple warnings, which means he's just made a mistake going somewhere under the safety car trying to catch up to everyone. That's going to cost him when we get back to racing. He's not going to have that position. As we see what happens up front, it looks like the safety car is in this lap. Frank Efron collides with Pinnacle, which means they're both going to have a 5-second penalty as MBD. Is the safety car in? Yeah, safety car's in. So MBD leads us back off. Scotty Fennell in second place, and they're closing right up behind. Oh my goodness! In battle for third, looks like Yari's going to come out in front for that battle for third place. Him and Bob Side are going side by side into that corner. Bob Sarder's going to have the better run. He's going to have the line down this straight, and it looks like he's going to have the position. Scotty really in close behind for first place as well. He's going to have a look down the inside. No, he's not. He's going to decide against it as Yari gets past Bob Sarder behind him. An excellent move for third place there from Yari, and he moves up into third. Another fantastic race weekend. As we get into the end now, it's time for you to let me know who your driver of the day is. Who do you think has set a really, really good standard today and really, really done themselves justice? As we have Bob Sarder right in behind Villas. Really, really close there. So do let us know in the comments who your driver of the day is as we come through the castle section, and all of these top drivers so close to each other. We're not going to have time to have DRS before the race ends, so it'll all be a battle of who can keep the most amount of pace, who can do the best down that long straight, and who can close in, who can find a gap somewhere else. Can Scotty Fennell get this move done as he battles for first place? He has a little bit of oversteer there, and that's going to cause him to be a little bit behind MBD coming into this next straight. How much of a good run can he get off this next section? They got Yari closing in behind them. It's really, really tight as we head in to the final lap, and a battle for first place, really, really showing who's going to get through. Fantastic driving from all of the drivers here today. They've absolutely set a really, really high standard, and I think we've all been really enjoying watching this race in. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 2, and it looks like Isolate with Flair has DNF'd out there. And Yari is through. Yari is through for second place on Scotty Fennell. A fantastic bit of driving there from Yari to get himself up on the inside of that corner. Scotty's going to have a look down the next one, but Yari's going to have the position, and now he's going to try and close in on MBD. Can he get the lap? Can he get the overtake done on this final lap? Who will win out here as we see Yari driving forward? Fantastic drive there as Villas goes past Bob Sarder behind, but he runs a little bit wide, and that allows Bob Sarder to come back through on the undercut. Oh, as someone spins behind them. Who was that? That was Pinnacle. Not what he wanted. He loses his front wing for the last lap. Not ideal for him. As we've got Yari and MBD really, really close to each other. This battle for first, as Yari has going to have a look down the inside. He's not. He's going to decide against it there. As we said, this is a difficult place to overtake, even though we've seen a couple of overtakes pulled into that corner today. Scotty Fennell has a little bit of oversteer. Yari's going to have the pace behind him. Who's going to be able to get this as we come into the final straight, the final sector of the race? Yari really close in behind MBD, but you don't think he's going to have the opportunity to pass. It's really a first corner pass that you want to get done. There's not going to be any DRS advantage coming into that corner. As we have Frappa gets a 3-second penalty. Can Yari get the position over the line? They come in, it's super close, they're next to each other, they're going to cross the line, literally neck and neck, and Yari's going to get it. He's just got the pace on the final straight, over the line. Yari wins. MBD Vision in second, Bob Sarder comes third. Scotty Fennell's penalty there costing him the podium. Scotty in fourth place, Villas in fifth, Carcraft sixth, Frank Efron seventh, Yuri comes over the line in 8th, then Pinnacle 9th, NJ Devil in 10th place. Vivico is going to come over the line in 11th place. Is the penalty from NJ Devil. Oh, NJ Devil's going to lose out on the place to Vivico, so he loses out on that final point. That's so unlucky because of the penalty. Then we've got Fradby, who is just making his way slowly around the last couple of laps, last bit of the track. Missing a bit of front wing, I think, so not ideal for him. But a fantastic result. So here we have our rundown then. We've got Yari, our winner, MBD Vision in second place, Bob Sarder third, Scotty Fennell in fourth, Villas in fifth, Carcraft sixth, Frank Efron seventh, Yuri eighth, Pinnacle 9th, Vivico 10th, Yveski comes over the line in 11th, Fradby in 12th, NJ Devil will come at 13th. Another fantastic race weekend as we just wait for the official results. I'm going to start handing out my driver of the day. And my driver of the day today, I'm going to disagree with the game. The game says Yuri as driver of the day. My driver of the day is going to go to Villas, who, for an F3 driver, has done an absolutely fantastic job, earning himself points all in both the races. Really held his own, had some really fast drivers around him, and managed to fight them as well as he could. But another double victory from Yari is surely going to cement his position as firm favourite for this championship in the GP2. It's been fantastic evening of racing. We look forward to you joining us tomorrow for the Sunday Race League proper as we head into the F1 races. We've got 4 races across the afternoon, all taking place at Baku. I'll just let you know as and when they are starting so you can keep on board with us, and make sure that you're following with as much as we can. So we've got Yari, our winner, MB Division 2nd, Bob Sada 3rd, Scotty Fennell 4th, Villas 5th, Carcraft 6th, Frank Efron 7th, Yuri 8th, Pinnacle 9th, and Vivico 10th. There's the bottom drivers there for you. As I say, next weekend we will be starting tomorrow our race in Azerbaijan will be starting from 5 o'clock, okay? So tune in from 7 o'clock. No, from 5 o'clock. Oh wait, with the Formula 4, my apologies everyone, I'm not reading this very well. Our Formula 4 starts at 3 o'clock tomorrow, okay? So tune in from 3, 5, 7 to see some fantastic driving. 7 for our F1 race, which will be heading over onto the Sunday Race League 1. So thank you so much for coming along. For our bicycles, Super Soft just did not make it around the final corners. No, that was going to be a tough one to make them run to the end. Thank you so much for joining us on the FIA F2 Championship for Azerbaijan this weekend. Yari setting a fantastic pace and being our winner for both races. Really well done to him. SRL 2 for the F1 tomorrow. My apologies, Rigby. So SRL 2 to tune in for the F1 tomorrow. That's going to be a fantastic race. Thank you so much for joining us all. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this brilliant afternoon of racing. We hope to see you all tomorrow. When I press the right button.